was 162, and
Okay.
I now am fluctuate between 141 and 143. I did it for the 40 days. And I'm only 5'3", so that's a lot. I'm very, very happy. I'm wearing clothes that I haven't worn in years. The breakup and Cancer were standing at a bar up in Spirit World somewhere, and Cancer said, "Hold my beer, I'm coming in now."
20 pounds in 40 days. That's incredible. Janet Rotella, very nice to have you, and I'm so excited to be able to talk to you. You know, rarely we get to talk to many customers. I mean, we do talk to a lot of customers, but rarely do we have this opportunity to talk with somebody on video and really get feedback and get your whole story. So I appreciate you getting on and being willing to share your story and tell us more about yourself. On that note, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Janet Rotella, and I live in Jupiter, Florida. I live and have a business in Jupiter, Florida. I'm actually in my business. This is my business, Calm and Bright. And I'm a holistic practitioner. I'm a holistic wellness practitioner. This is my center. My center here provides a place for the community to heal without the use of pharmaceuticals or substances. I'm a hypnotherapist, Reiki master, energy, sound, somatic healer. So I'm always looking for natural ways to heal and wellness and better myself.
Excellent. Great. Okay. Well, thanks for that brief history. I was looking real quick at your website, and it looks like you've been doing this for quite a while, right?
Yeah. My center is new. It's only a couple months old, but I've been in practice for a while. So.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thanks for giving us the brief rundown. Obviously, we're here to talk about, your journey and how you came across BioSource Labs. BioSource Nutra is also, that's kind of our customer-facing brand is BioSource Nutra, but BioSource Labs is our mother company. How did you discover BioSource Labs, BioSource Nutra? I'm assuming sounds like, did you find us on Amazon, or how did you find BioSource Labs?
I did find you on Amazon. I had used a similar product before about 7 years or so ago, and I wanted to do it again, but their cost, the economy that we're in, their cost, I was like, I just can't do this, especially with
Too high, huh?
opening a new business. And I'm like, Amazon has everything. Like my feeling is, if like Amazon doesn't sell it, they don't make it. So it's not out there.
Very true, yeah.
Version of it. I came across it, and I'm like, well, I've got nothing to lose except the weight and
Right.
and a fraction of the cost what the other product was, so let me try it.
Did you go to a clinic before and use a product from them, or what was the price of the product that you were looking at?
The price of the product that I used, it wasn't a clinic, it was a network marketing company, which
Okay.
I'm a huge supporter of, self-employed and anybody out there hustling. I've been self-employed for 25 years and had, not just this business, but other businesses as well. And I'm all about that, but, you got to keep the lights and stuff on too.
Sure.
And like I said, I'm just like, it was a fraction of the cost. The other product that I had used, and I understand because there's up lines, down lines, left lines, right lines, all
Sure,
of that.
they got to pay people and yeah.
And I'm like, but that this can be done more affordable. And also one of the things, just even in my own business, I'm like, everybody deserves to heal. Everybody deserves wellness. Everybody deserves, product and services that can enhance their life. And where people get stuck 9 times out of 10 is always price. And big pharma will come in and, take insurance and all that on all the pharmaceuticals and that whole route. But all of the holistic homeopathic routes, people are kind of just like stuck. So, I'm a big person myself in my own business of offering affordable things for people, because I always try to put myself on the other side of it too and say, I would really this is really the route I want to do, but, I don't need to pop off a left arm to do it. So the other product that I was looking at was 3 times the price, what I paid for the BioSource product.
That's not even, we have a lot of customers. Obviously, we've been doing this for, 15 years. And over those years, we've had hundreds of thousands of customers, talked with a lot of people. And I hear a lot of people that go to clinics, they go to a weight loss clinic, and sure, they're getting the, the personal touch, and they're getting the check-ins and everything. So there is value to that. But, they're paying upwards of $2,000 for this program. And our product is virtually, I'll be honest, a lot of those clinics actually use our product, whether it's private labeling Googling or, they carry our product. And so a lot of people have discovered our product and see the price, and it's just a no-brainer. So, as long as you're aware and you know how to do the diet and you know how to, stick to it, and you have the willpower to do it and don't need that follow-up from somebody, then a great option for people who may be considering going to a clinic or considering other products. So yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, lucky you found us, right?
Absolutely. I'm thrilled. Yeah. Just as good, if not better. Yeah.
Well, that's great to hear. Thank you. So what problems were you facing when obviously you were searching, you found this other product, you did some more searching, found us. Mm-hmm. What was the problem that you were facing that caused you to do that? Obviously, you probably wanted to lose weight, but were there any other problems that you were facing?
Yeah. So I had done the other product, like I said, 7 or 8 years ago, and I did keep the weight off for quite a while. And then unfortunately, I guess it's 2 years, almost 3 years ago now, and it was not long after COVID, my special needs sister unfortunately was diagnosed with colorectal cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And this was also in the middle of when I was going through a major breakup. So I had a lot of stress in my life. So it was post-COVID, breakup, and then it was almost, I always say it was like COVID, the breakup, and cancer were standing at a bar up in spirit world somewhere, and cancer said, "Hold my beer, I'm coming in now."
Well, you've got an incredible attitude about it all. Now, I guess, in hindsight, it's yeah, that's a tough go. Yeah.
So they came in. It was June of 2022 that she was diagnosed, and she lived 9 months to the day. As a matter of fact, her 2-year anniversary of her passing is coming up on March 15th. So a good 9 months there. And if that wasn't enough, so I was thrown into adrenal fatigue, stress. And if that wasn't enough, I was also in the middle of menopause. So we got the belly and I mean, I always ate healthy and was very, very disciplined, but it was the classic, I can't get this weight off. I can't get this weight off. And everybody was like, oh, try this, try keto, try paleo, try, what's the big one that everybody's, the fasting, the
intermittent fasting, yep.
Yeah. Intermittent fasting, try, eating 6 apples and doing this, and, and eat eggs and do this. Like, you name it, everybody, especially in my world, people were giving all kinds of suggestions.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Nothing was moving it. Like, it needed a jump start. And I was like, oh my God, I can't fast any more than I'm already fasting. Like, I already eat healthy. I don't eat carbs. I don't eat sugar. I don't eat this. I was like, there's nothing more to take away. So I needed a jump start. But at the same time, like I said, back in October, November is when I was opening this center, and I'm like, I don't have a huge bank account to go ahead and do all of this. I just need something to jump start it. And I knew that this had worked 7 or 8 years ago, but I was determined to find it. Being an entrepreneur, and knowing that you can get things wholesale, and there's always, a price for everything, and a lower price and a higher price. I was like, there's got to be another option to this. So that's how I found you guys on Amazon. This was back in October, November, and I was like, I'm Italian and Greek, and I love food. And I was like, I'm not doing this over the holidays. So I let the holidays go, and I just was like eating whatever I wanted to eat. And then I made the New Year commitment. Actually, I started doing it along with a fast with my church, with a 21-day fast. Okay. So it kind of made it easier because I had that support system there of people who were just, it wasn't even to lose weight. People were giving up like their favorite thing, chocolate or alcohol, or sweets or treats, or eating past midnight, not midnight, 7 o'clock or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I had that support system, and I did that I was going to start January 1st, but they started that on January 6th. So I started it January 6th, and the 21 days ended it, but I kept going. And I dropped 20 pounds.
You lost 20 pounds?
20 pounds, yeah.
20 pounds in the 21 days?
Yeah. No, 20
Oh, that's incredible.
I did it for the 40 days. I did it for
the 40 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, still, that's still incredible. I
was a little bit lax I'm only 5'3", so that's a lot. So I was a little bit, I don't want to say lax at the end. I never ate the bad food at the end, but maybe my portions were a little bit bigger because I was really happy with the 20 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your, if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to share if you don't want to, but what was your starting weight when you began in January 6th?
Was 162, and I now fluctuate between 141 and 140. I go between 141 and just under 143. I would like to get down to the 130s, but I'm very, very happy. I'm wearing clothes that I haven't worn in years, and I feel good. I'm very curious to see what my blood work will show, because I do go to the doctor every 4 to 6 months for blood work. I don't do a thing they say because I'm holistic, but I get the blood work. So I'm very curious to see what my cholesterol would be, because my cholesterol was high and some of my other numbers. But I feel good. I'm getting compliments. I'm wearing clothes that I haven't in a while. So, that last 5 pounds or so, that'll come. But, I know I had to stop the drops at a certain point, but I'm happy.
Well, hold on one second. I gotta stand up here and congratulations. That's incredible. So 20 pounds in 40 days, really congratulations. For somebody who has tried everything and nothing has done it, that's amazing. Thanks for telling your story. That's commendable. And I think when you look at the percentage of your body weight, that's a pretty good accomplishment. And you said you're 5'3", so.
Yeah, I will stand up. So I had these sweatpants on January 11th. I wore these I did an official grand opening because my suite is 111. So on 111, I did a grand opening, and these were tight. And as you can see,
wow,
they're fitting.
Awesome. Well, you look great. You look great.
Big. Somebody said I have to go shopping. I'm like, oh yeah, all the money I saved, now I'll go blow it on clothes.
Right? Well, treat yourself. You should celebrate and just be very happy with yourself. We see a lot of people, and a lot of people really do have success, and your story is among many, but you are in that age group where it is really hard to break through and to drop that weight. You have hormonal things going on that a lot of women deal with during menopause. And so it becomes pretty difficult unless you have something like this where you're able to kind of balance out your hormones. There is that aspect of intermittent fasting with this as well. So you've continued that on, but you did, the eating and the product, all of those things combined, I think really contributed to this, obviously. But again, congratulations. That's incredible. So you feel great. How's your energy? How are your energy levels compared to before?
My energy level is great, and my sleep is great. I've had sleep problems my whole life. I even address it in my business with my clients. I have a ton of relaxation methods that I try myself, but I still have sleep problems, and my sleep has been great. It's been solid. I go to sleep at a decent hour. I sleep pretty much through the night, but I'm also waking up earlier, and I have a lot of energy, full of energy. And it's crazy. I actually got used to the food, and I like it. I have no desire to go back. And I even said that I hope I don't want to go back and eat all these rich, heavy things. I like the way I feel, more so than the weight or how you look, or if you're skinny or your clothes are big. I like the way I feel. I don't feel that bloated, tight, like I'm going to bust out of my shoes, bust out of my clothes, my waistline, digging in, taking your pants off and having marks in your belly and things like that. I like the way I feel. I feel lighter, freer, and it makes me more energetic because you're not dragging around this extra 20 pounds with you.
Definitely. By the way, that's our mission, the outward appearance is really just a reflection of how you feel on the inside. So our mission is to help transform people on the inside so that you feel better, like you said, you don't feel bloated, you feel lighter, you feel more energy, and you move, just in your own movement, and your eyes feel brighter. And when you start feeling that, and then you see the pounds coming off, that's when we know that there's a real change happening, and you're able to your body is naturally going to adapt to that. You're going to drop that weight, and your body's just going to feel much better overall, and you probably have a glow. I can't see very well because of the camera, but you definitely people do, and you definitely seem like you're vibrant, and you have that spirit that comes with all of these changes that you make, and that's great. We love to hear these stories because that's our mission, and that's what we're trying to do. So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
So as far as during the diet, if you could just tell me real quick, everybody has a different experience, and some people have challenges, some people have setbacks. Did you have any specific setbacks or challenges that you faced during the process?
I would get in the beginning, especially, it's really weird. For a while there, I would get stagnation, where the scale wouldn't move. I was stuck in the 150s for a while, and then it just seemed like all of a sudden when it went down into the 140s, it was like overnight, like the weight fell off, and people noticed it too. People were like, "What are you doing? You look great." Like what? Like clients who come to my office every single week didn't notice the first week, like the first, like when I was in that decade, in the 150s decade. But when I reached the 140s decade, they were like, "What have you done? You're doing something different." So the stagnation was a little bit discouraging, and I was also using an app that was measuring, and I haven't done it in about 2 weeks, that was measuring my body mass and my body measurements, my calf, and that was actually going up. And I was like, "What in the hell?" And that's probably why I haven't done it, because I'm like, I'm not going to look at that. I'm just going to go by how my clothes feel and things like that feel. Some other challenges were always, I am a very social person, so going out to eat and being with friends and stuff like that, I could find it was a little bit difficult finding things, because it's a hard diet. There's a lot of limitations on it, but it's so worth it. It's quick. I kept telling everybody, it's quick. It's quick. It's going to be, while you are all still, doing this and doing that 6 months down the line to lose 3 pounds, I'm done and over it in either 21 or 40 days, so it's over it. So I could, like, to me, I've always been the kind of person that goes in, like, even when I was in college and school, I would take classes from 9 in the morning till 11 at night, so I could have 3 days off. Like when I get in something, I get going, and I'd rather keep just going and get through it and then spread it out. So, going out to eat, I found, or being, at other people's houses was a little bit difficult. The things I thought I would miss, because I have a big sweet tooth, is not what I missed. I didn't miss the sweets. As a matter of fact, I was actually looking for more savory, like breakfast and things that were more savory.
At what point did you feel like that kind of kicked in? Because I know that, once you get your insulin response in line, and that's kind of where the cravings come from, how long did it take you before you felt like you didn't really crave those sweets or the things that you normally would crave?
Not that long. I would say maybe the first week, the end of the first week in.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 days, maybe in 4 or 5 days in, not that long.
Okay. You mentioned an app. Are there any other resources, or what was the name of the app that you used?
Me 360.
Okay. And are there any other resources that you use?
Me 360 or 360. It's a number. Me 365 or I don't know.
Okay.
You every day of the year. It's probably 365. I don't know. What else did I do? I know a lot of people have trouble with their water. At one point, I used to use a water app just before I did the diet. There is a water app that will track how much you water. I have no problem with water. What I did a lot with the water was the stevia drops too, to sweeten it, like the vanilla cream stevia. I would put in like a carbonated, like a mineral water, so it would taste like a cream soda or something like that. And I would also, I know the environmentalists aren't going to like this, but straw. I would use a straw. I would use a straw because it would actually go down. It wasn't as much air. It would actually go down quicker. And I would also line up my bottles. Like I would, line up 8 bottles of water.
So you like prepped your water, so it would be easy for you to grab. That's a good idea.
Because after I would do like at my center, I would do like 4 or 5 of them here, or I would go every hour. Like every new client that I would have, if I had a new client every hour, I have a little kitchen here, and I'm big on the water just for my clients in general. I'd be like, "You want water? You want water?" So I would get them a water and get me a water. So hopefully, if I had a client every hour, which would be good financially, it was also good for me. It was a reminder of me to, have my water. So, and lining up and seeing those bottles go down. Actually, it's funny. I know the big thing in the past couple of years was everybody getting the big gallon jug of waters, or getting the big, like you have this much to do. But now I'm kind of feeling the reverse, that's kind of overwhelming to people, that just do it in the 8 that,
tackle the smaller portions and
8 bottles, and it wouldn't seem so bad. And I wouldn't put them in the recycling bin either. I would move them from one side of the counter to the other, so I knew what I did. And I can't. I mean, my poor dog, even him, he's in here with me. He comes to my studio with me. But I would give him water, and then me take water. Like whenever anybody around me had water, I water buddied it, so that helped.
Great. Yeah, that's a great idea. And so everybody's different on how they view it. I feel that way too. Sometimes I have a big thing of water and I'm like, I don't have a huge problem with with water, but the straw idea is a great idea because you do get when you gulp, you get a lot of air and it makes you fuller. And so great ideas there.
And soup, the clear broth before every meal. I mean, fortunately, the time that I did it, even here in Florida, we had, I know everybody's going to laugh, but we had a chilly January. It's chilly again today for us, but we had a couple of days like record break. We even had snow in North Florida. So it lends itself to wanting to have soup. So before everything, before my lunch, before whatever it was I would make for dinner, I would just make like a big cup of the clear broth, maybe put some green onions in it or some spinach or something in it, because that would
You're talking about like a bone broth, like a chicken or a beef bone broth?
Yeah,
okay.
Chicken, beef, or vegetable I would have, just clear broth, but I would put like maybe, like I said, like some spinach leaves in it or green onions in it or something like that that would also fill me up. And then the other thing I would do that was also really helpful is I was big with my air fryer, and I would just buy bags, the right portion size of vegetables, like buy a bag of broccoli or buy a thing of tomatoes or something. And I would just like instinctively just get that out and put it in my air fryer or however I was going to have it, and just have it ready. So there would be no question. There would be no tempting to go in the back of the freezer where, some of the bad stuff was, and I would have my bag of vegetables and be ready to go. Pre-making, food prepping. Really helps.
That's definitely a huge thing to prevent the temptation, right? To prep it first and have it ready. So if you feel like reaching in the back, getting a little ice cream or something that you may have, and just grab those veggies instead. That's great. Well, good. So I think just one more question that I'm really interested to hear your take on is, looking back and, thinking about your journey and everything, and obviously you help people, that's your business. What advice would you give a friend or someone who's looking to start this journey?
Well, it's funny because I actually have had a lot of people ask me about it, and that's what people absolutely come here for, to better their mind, body, and spirit. I don't just work with, the heart and soul and the emotional side of things. It's everything holistic, homeopathic, natural, because it's all connected, body, mind, and spirit. So I have had a lot of people ask me, and I'm honest with them. I tell them it's extremely hard. It's extremely hard diet, but it's very quick and it's very good, and it's worth it. And it's like anything else, the same thing that I do with hypnotherapy. And anything becomes a habit, and everything is changeable. When I hear people say a leopard doesn't change its spots, people don't change. You can't change. You're never going to change him. You're never going to change your child. I always argue that, because I said you absolutely can change things. I'm in the business of change. That's my entire business. Is people come to me because they have an addiction, a habit, a trauma, a fear, something that they want to change their way of thinking. So you can lose the weight. You just have to change everything that goes with it, body, mind, and spirit, and just get yourself in the habit of doing it. And I know that there's another weight loss company who says, and nothing tastes as good as thin feels. And I hate to quote them, but it's true. Like when you see your clothes fitting right, and you feel, like you said, you're not feeling the dragging around that extra 20 pounds and, the indents in your tummy, from your waistband and all that. It's all worth it. And it's just this has become my habit. People always say habits are bad. I'm like, habits aren't bad. Bad habits are bad. There's good habits. There's great habits. Meditating, working out, eating right, eating healthy. That can be a habit. That's a good habit. So just get in the good habit. So just change, and everything can change. So it's worth it. It's worth it. And when people see the result, it's an inspiration to go ahead and do that. And knowing that it doesn't take that long, it doesn't cost that much, and nothing comes easy or free. Even with my clients, when they want to do a healing journey, I require 6 months of them, because I even say to them, you don't go into a gym, work out once for half an hour, and walk out a size 2.
Definitely, yeah. And that's what it takes on the inside. It's even more work, right?
Yeah, you got to work at something. You got to put something into this. So you got to put into the commitment of, I'm going to do the drops. I'm going to do the portion control. I'm going to stay off of, all this stuff, the sugar, the flour, the carbs, the oils. You're going to just commit to it and do it. And, you think about it, what is, 21 days in the aspect of a lifetime? And even my sister's short.
So fast.
It's just nothing. It's nothing. It's literally, and it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. So make a good habit.
Well, that's great advice from somebody who's done it. And thank you so much. It really does. I hope that everybody gets to hear your story, because I think there's so many people in your same situation, and like that just want to lose, like that maybe don't want to. We have people who have lost over 200 pounds using our product and our diet, but I think most people are in your same situation. They want to lose, 15, 20 pounds. And when I did it myself, I was similar, but I'm a man, so it's a little bit different. And I was a lot younger. So, I would think I was like my early 30s when I did it, and I did the 21 days and I lost 20 pounds, but very active. And so I think there's a lot of people who have desk jobs, or they're, in the same situation, who are tried a lot of things and it's not working. And so they need to break that pattern of whatever patterns they've developed over the years. You're exactly right. Those habits, which are really just patterns, and learning how to break those patterns. And that's, I think, exactly what this program does for people. So thank you so much for sharing this. It's going to be inspirational for a lot of people, inspirational for us too, and everybody that works here. On behalf of all of us here, we want to thank you for being a customer and for trusting us with your journey and following through and being true to yourself and getting those results, because it does, I bet, feel great just to be walking around and feeling good, and then have people notice that you made this change, and it says a lot about your character. So thank you so much. We have a gift for you, like I said, and as soon as we get off here, I'll talk to you a little bit more about that, but just as a thank you for your time and for being a great customer.
Well, thank you guys so much. I owe it all to you guys, and can't wait to hear what my doctor says, what my numbers are, and just enjoy skinnyhood. Thank you guys.
You walked the path. You did it. Well, congratulations.